in Nice today. And we're going to show you different markets, 4 different markets actually. We'll see fruit and vegetables, different souvenirs to take home, and lots of fish. There's one market in Nice that all the tourists are drawn to, the famous flower market at Cours Saleya. All colors and beguiling scents and typical products from the French Riviera, which is where we start our tour today. But we'll also take you to places where you can actually plunge into the life of the locals and find out what they put on their plates. Awesome regionally grown seasonal produce full of flavor at reasonable prices. You might even ask a fisherman how best to prepare fresh fish like red mullet or a sea urchin back in your Airbnb. We'll tell you where to find the markets, how to get there, and when they're open. A general rule for Nice is markets are open every morning except for Mondays. So here we are at the most popular, the flower market at Cours Saleya, right in the old town, 2 steps from the sea. Here you can actually buy everything the French Riviera has to offer. All kinds of flowers and little trees, of course, but also olives and olive oil, citrus fruit, tasty vegetables, soap with many different fragrances, and endless souvenirs for your friends and family. You'll also find numerous Italian specialties, since the Italian border is just around the corner. Try from the cheese of mountain farmers, or help yourself to some mouth-watering typical French cookies, the so-called macarons, pepped up with local ingredients like lemons from Menton or violets from a village in the hinterland. And remember to get some fresh food for a picnic on the beach. The Cours Saleya market is called the flower market, Marché aux fleurs, because it all started off with flowers, even if today flowers don't take up more than a dozen stands or so. At the end of the 19th century, the first wholesale flower market in the world was created in Nice and was soon moved to today's spot. The flower market is open every day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Mondays, the marketplace turns into an antiques market. And when you're done exploring, you can take a break and have lunch or a coffee in one of the many cafes and restaurants that line the market. We're at Place de la Libération, and here's a big market for fresh produce. Here, right below the old railway station Gare du Sud, you'll find everything the local and regional farmers grow this time of year, as well as the biggest selection of fresh fish in all of Nice. Marché de la Libération is where mostly locals go shopping, and you won't find anything but fresh edible goods. Right now, in winter, citrus fruits are the big stars among the locally grown products. Just take in their fragrance. And then there's all the regular vegetables, but also local honey and olives. Just opposite of the Marché de la Libération, there's another little market, a covered market called the Docks de la Riviera, also established more than 100 years ago. You can buy meat, cheese, fish, or get lunch. Speaking of fish, back at the Libération outdoor market, you'll find the most amazing selection of fresh fish. But don't be fooled, most of the fish on display wasn't caught in the Mediterranean, but imported. The Libération market is open every day except for Mondays. From downtown Nice, it's easiest to hop on the tram line 1 and get off at the stop called Libération. Fish is a huge deal in Nice for obvious reasons, being situated at the sea, Another tiny market only for fish is the Marché aux Poissons at Place Saint-François in the Old Town. Open Tuesday through Sunday in the mornings. Again, you'll get fresh fish mostly from anywhere but France. Then again, if you want fish right from the Mediterranean in front of you, there's this one spot at the harbor behind the Old Town that you need to check out.
We're early. We'll try to come back later.
Right, don't rush in the morning as Anja and I did, because this small market for local fish won't open until 10:30. But it's so worth seeing, as you're going to meet the last remaining fishermen from Nice that have just come back ashore with their small boats.
So we're back at the little fish market where you can buy fish that comes right from the sea behind us.
There's precisely 5 guys still in the business in Nice. 2 going for fish in their little boats, 2 diving for sea urchins, often over at Villefranche-sur-Mer or Cap Ferrat, and 1 collecting corals for jewelry. The little fish market at the port is open every day from 10:30 to 12:30. One thing we learned from the fishermen: most of the fish you get on your plate in a restaurant in Nice was not caught right here in the sea, but either imported or raised in a fish farm. And that's it for our market suggestions in Nice. We hope you found what you were looking for.